think we have done well. But
Singapore is a country.
getting a car is a social
When it comes to owning a car in Singapore, you shouldn't even
Nowadays,
consider it. It's not an option.
impossible to be even out of your parents' house. I think your question should be what's wrong with Singaporeans.
Welcome back. We touched on the loss of a sense of tradition among the younger people. I think we need to look at what are the possible reasons, the possible causes for that. And again, I would refer to the slightly older members of the panel, and we'll also ask the younger people as well whether they have an interest in Chinese New Year traditions. Can I start with Terence or Edwin?
Okay, I would think we are in a modern society. That's why youngsters sometimes they might think that some practices are not so relevant to the modern lifestyle nowadays. As such, we are not talking about Chinese New Year. You know, some other festivals, Mooncake Festival, like Mooncake Festival, they pray to the moon. Nowadays, nobody pray to the moon. So I believe the moon got nothing to eat nowadays. So I believe there are so many customs, traditions, not passed down. Sometimes mainly some of our parents, they themselves, our grandparents did not tell them the significance of this and that. And the younger generation, they are unable to understand, oh, why is it so? And some of them, they're just, oh, now we are playing with computer, iPads, this and that. What? Tradition, you know, when you eat this thing, you'll become more lucky, then everyone starts to eat. I think that's the mindset.
But why wasn't it passed down? It was passed down in your generation by your parents to you.
A little bit, but not all. Because my parents don't know much about such meaning of things also. Yep. Yes.
But why wasn't it passed down?
Why wasn't it passed down?
Because it has.
Life has become more hectic. We are going to simplify many things. Maybe this is one of the reasons. My humble opinion.
And I guess last time parents not very used to explaining things to the children. They mainly instruct and you just do it.
Yes.
So, and children during then, too afraid to question.
Yes. Quite.
Yeah, so just listen to instructions. And parents during then is pretty bad in explaining the details and the significance of it. Probably their own parents didn't tell them that way. Just tell them just do.
So from generation to generation, what is passed down will get less and less?
Diluted, I would say. Diluted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Has language got anything to do with it? Because the customs are tied into the different dialects, right? Then when we started the Speak Mandarin campaign, dialects were no longer spoken. So has that got to do with perhaps some of the loss of the cultural significance of the dialectical traditions and practices?
So I think it's not a big, because the dialect is stopped on the media, but at home we still speak Hokkien.
You still do today?
Yeah, I still do today to my parents, and my wife speaks Cantonese to her parents. So
To your children?
Speaks Cantonese. I wish they speak more Hokkien, but
Okay.
yeah, so usually the mother tongue, right? They speak
The
mother
mother's tongue is the
Yes,
mother
yes,
tongue. Yeah.
So I'm thinking this change is a cultural change as opposed to like a generation kind of thing, because the older generation is still around. I mean, we have our grandmothers still around, you know, the kind of things. But they are no longer following as well. So it's an overall society, like the entire culture has changed, as opposed to like this generation remains the same, that generation has changed, kind of. Yeah. So it's an entire thing. So I feel.
But it sounds rather sad, right? Is there no way to preserve our traditions?
I think tradition is kind of a living tradition. So the underlying principle is, so long as respect, family values remains the same, the outward appearance, like do we meet or do we make a phone call, I don't think that is
You're talking about values now, right?
Yeah, values,
you pass down values. But I'm talking about Chinese New Year traditions, cultural traditions.
Practices.
Oh, you mean
Practices, yeah.
I guess the clans are doing quite a bit on that to preserve the practices, like the clans from Teochew Association, Hainanese Association, the Canton, the Guangzhou Association, or something like that. I think they are trying to push.
Trying very hard to push. In fact.
Yeah.
Is it a problem? You are associated with a lot of associations.
Yeah,
Is that an uphill task?
Uphill task. is
Difficult?
Quite lah.
Are the young people receptive?
Sometimes I would think any campaign, they'll get the clan association, get your grandchildren or get your children here. And I would think sometimes wayang lah. Let the day pass. They say, oh, now we are going to practice. I was doing an event whereby there's a certain society in Singapore telling people that you must pay respect to your parents by kneeling down and offer them a glass of tea or something like that. Respect. But then the children do already start to laugh.
Yeah.
But I think the food and beverage industry also trying very hard. Like for example, 冬至, we try to serve tang yuan as the one of the desserts to actually push out the culture again, sustain the culture, telling people 冬至. So normally in Chinese tradition, people eat tang yuan. Yeah, and we're trying to like Mooncake Festival. Of course, it's over commercialized, but still, maybe because of these commercial activities, certain values or practices, I would say, can remain longer. Without commercial activities to promote, these practices may be faded away.
Or the clan associations as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I want to ask Ping Yang and I want to ask Frederick. How much of Chinese New Year traditions do you both know today? How do you celebrate Chinese New Year?
Lion dance.
You don't?
Lion dance.
Okay.
And,
Lion dance is something that you like to do, right? But outside the lion dance, the customs, the meaning of eating different foods, having to actually, during my time, we had to kneel to my grandparents and then wish them well and wish them long life and pranakan. So we said panjang panjang umur, which is long life, Do you do that today?
No.
Do you do that to your parents?
No.
Do you do that?
No. We just take oranges to our
Yeah.
parents and get the angpao.
Wish your parents?
Yeah, just 恭喜发财. Yeah.
And you don't give ang pao to your parents?
Previously, no.
Now you do.
Now, haven't.
Okay, but what about, do you have family reunion at home?
Yes.
Okay, so that tradition is being kept. But what about the foods? Do you know the foods that you eat, the Chinese New Year foods? Do you know what each represents? For example, the steamed fish. Nian Gao?
Not really.
No? And have you no interest in wanting to know?
No interest.
Too busy.
Too busy? You're not embarrassed that you don't know?
Feel proud that he don't know. Hey, one of the youngsters.
Not really. Maybe you just walk around the street, ask 10 of them, 9 of them doesn't know it.
I think this is a problem, right?
Because the generation.
I think this is a problem, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
we should start in schools.
True.
Schools are all
Moral
exams.
education.
No, but they can teach tradition and culture of the different races, which they may not do as a regular thing. I'm sure they have classes like that.
Yeah.
But let me just ask you, do you have interest in knowing? Honestly.
Honestly. Just a little bit, maybe you can pass down to my.
If it's part of the exams, then probably you will, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so something should be done, otherwise we're going to gradually lose all our understanding of our traditions and culture.
I think even during visiting, I think it's we tend to lose a bit of our dialect greeting, Instead of saying, Xin Jia Ju, and then the reply you get is Tang Tang Ju, So now
there's
the
a reply
Auntie
answer,
Happy
yeah.
New Year, It's so become informal, That the ethnicity is lost, really.
The protocol.
The protocol is lost, when we visit the elders, we just say Auntie Happy New Year, and then the being the younger, they always only look forward to ang pao. So they don't know what's significant of saying Xin Jia Ju and all this,
What does Xinjia Juyi mean?
I'm also not very sure.
新年如意啊，新年如意。
Which is?
新
Happy New Year.
家is 新家
Xinjia Gyeonghi.
新家 is in 柳州
柳州
呀，
新
新家like New Year 啦。
Okay, okay.
Then the
如
reply
意
is
如意
Xin-
how to say 如意
Rui.
And then there is an answer to that as well.
Then he say, same to you, same to
Same to you.
uh,
Okay, all right.